Sean.
Good morning, Lindsay.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, but I just was forced to put my coffee on the floor, so I'm not happy about that.
Hold it in your hand. That's fine.
I can. What if I slishity slosh it when I'm getting animated?
Okay,
That no
now
one's
you're
ever
making
gonna
it about
see?
me, and it's not, although it kind of is.
Isn't it always
Yeah,
about you?
as long as we understand that. Hang on. I'm just
We understand.
calling up my presentation.
You have a presentation?
Well, like for myself.
For anyone who is listening to this, I want you to always know that Sean is over-prepared and I am under-prepared.
And in the middle, we meet.
In the middle, we meet
make magic.
with mediocre preparedness when you mix it together.
I think what's funny is I'd actually say you're just as, if not more prepared than me. You're just not used to other people being as prepared as you.
To be honest, I think it's a ruse that is it
Is
called
it?
a ruse?
Roos, yeah.
That I'm like pulling the wool over your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing it well.
Thank you. I like wool.
All right.
So,
Welcome.
what's going on today?
Well, I've got a new name for our podcast today.
What is it?
It's just called Happy Friday. That's the podcast. A podcast? The podcast.
Is that what it's always going to be called?
No.
Just today.
Yeah, working.
What was it last week? Something about Fridays as well.
Yeah, my favorite Friday, or
Should we just call it the podcast with no name?
for now.
I like
It's part of my
working
opening
title.
bit. It's just
You
here's
have an
my
opening bit? Is this stand up? Kind of.
yeah.
It is.
It's actually what I'm calling this podcast is Happy Friday, and I'll tell you why. Because right now it's Friday, and this podcast is all about what's going on with us right now.
Yeah. I like that.
It's about the present,
Fridays
baby.
are always happy because something good's about to happen.
It is like it's a thing you hear a lot, and you're kind of like, if it's not a Happy Friday,
Yeah. Cruising
You're
into a shitty weekend.
Right?
Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
yeah.
Well, that's good. So anything going on this Friday? What are you up to? What do you listen to? What have you heard? What's happening?
Ooh, well, that's kind of what I was going to ask you.
Oh, you're asking me that. Okay.
Oh, no, you asked me first. So here's my thing. Okay, can I do my little spiel? So welcome to Happy Friday, where we talk about what's happening right now. Not the past, not the future, but all about right now in this room. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
So based on that,
Right now.
my name is Sean Patrick, a self-proclaimed wise guy.
And my name is Lindsay Waugh. Someone just figured it out.
I like the Lindsay B. Waugh.
Lindsay B. Waugh.
Yeah. And then what does the B stand for? You do that, right? Like, don't ever tell anyone.
Lindsay B. Waugh. Well,
Yeah.
my mom's going to know it's Blair, for one thing.
Oh, and then we're done. All right. So what were you asking me? What's going on with me?
Yeah.
Let's try it
what's
again.
going on?
Ask me and I'll shut up.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Lindsay.
What's going on with you today?
Well, it's snowy.
It's so snowy.
Uh,
Does that always surprise you? No, like we live in Canada. Whenever it snows, I'm always still surprised. I'm like, whoa, snow.
but now that you're skiing, like I grew up where snow was never a surprise because it was always there. So yeah, it's a surprise, but it's unlike everyone else. It's a pleasant surprise. Like I was like, ooh, Friday's the day I don't go to the gym because I saved myself for this wonderful thing. And I was actually like, well, at least I'll get the lawn shoveled. You know what?
Are we
I gotta
supposed
go back
to
home.
do that? Because I live in Toronto and we don't have lawns, for one thing. And
If you'll excuse me, I think I have to go
Don't
shovel the
shovel.
driveway now.
You know, my approach to shoveling, I woke up this morning, I was like, wow, that's a lot of snow. And due to the fact that we have one parking spot in our driveway and no lawn, do you know how I shovel? I drive the car away. I get in the car, I drive it down the road, the snow falls off as I go, and that's how I shovel the driveway.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Real estate's a real bitch around
Right.
here.
Well, even with me, I mean, we have a decent sized driveway, and my wife Simone is always
Don't
like,
you have a 4-car driveway?
no, 2.
It looks longer.
Well, it's because of what you have.
Well, what
Like,
if you had 4
when Lindsay
smart
describes
cars?
when Lindsay describes one parking space, not really.
Yeah, I drive an SUV. Sorry, environment. I apologize, but
You
It
have
takes
two
up
kids.
the entire driveway.
That's right. I see what you
Literally.
mean. So that's what you mean is there's no periphery. You just pull out and your driveway is clean.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I just thought you were being an irresponsible bitch.
No,
You
that
don't
is
need
is
to-
me shoveling.
I love that.
You know what happens when I'm being an irresponsible bitch?
You
There's
don't
too
clean
much
off your car.
snow on the car.
Yeah.
But I will wipe it off when I get to the daycare parking lot. Isn't that so bad? So I get out, wipe it off at the daycare parking lot, hence all the snow falls on their driveway. That's mean. And then I drive away.
Say that last sentence again. Then the snow falls on.
The snow falls on their driveway instead of mine.
God, is that why you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're still alive.
I'm shortcutting the shit out of everything these days.
That's good though.
It's efficient.
I
I don't know if it's good.
I think you just need to. It's coping.
Yes.
You got to shortcut somewhere. Just because it puts everyone's life in danger is another issue. But I'm with you.
Does it put everyone's life
No,
in
I went
danger?
through a stage where it's like now you. I think it's a good sort of where are you in life because now I'm that person who okay are the headlights clean? Okay, have I gone to every corner
Yeah.
because I want to. Then that gives me the right to be pissed off at people when I'm driving my kids to school, which I don't do much anymore, and they haven't even cleared off the window.
Yeah. So something funny like that happened to me this morning, actually, because of this whole snowfall thing. Another parent was coming to my house to pick up something before I was taking the girls to school, and he had noticed how poorly I was wiping off the car, and I was giving him the thing and then getting back in the car, and he wiped off my back window as he was getting in his car. Like, hence
When
to
you said-
say... That's irresponsible of you
Yeah.
to drive with your car in this
Yeah.
condition. And I said, fair.
Actually, I have a neighbor. They're lovely. I mean, he jokes about it, my neighbors. But it's always like our kids would go to the same school, and they're always rushing. Like we're coming back. I'll be coming back, parking in the garage on the lawn because that's what I do, where I shoveled. And I'll see her running out with the two kids.
That's me. You're
Right?
seeing me run it.
Yeah, and I always feel like I do not judge. I actually laugh and feel bad because it's like that was me. Like I was so
Because
unorganized.
how old
in the
are their
morning.
kids?
Leah. Oh, I probably shouldn't say their names. I already did. A girl, Michelle. This isn't going live, so it's fine. She's about 8 or 9, and then the little boy's about 3 or 4.
Okay. So there could be hope later. It's
Yeah.
that 3 or 4-year-old where you're like, I'm just trying to hustle you. Like, can we go?
Totally.
You have to eat your cereal.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally. That's what I mean. It's not like they just got out of bed. They may have been up for 2 hours. I
Yeah.
know that. It's just about the moment it's time to leave is completely a draw. Like, oh my God, what is it now? So you can do everything right, and then when you get to the door, where are your boots?
Yeah.
Where are your goddamn mitts? What do you mean you left them at school? Stop crying. We have to go. What do you mean you don't want to go to school? You know, like it's that.
I know. It's like.
I hear you. So anyways, we're getting off topic, but I helped her. So I was shoveling the driveway like the annoying neighbor who seems to have nothing to do. And I saw her come out, and the kids say hi, and she's like, you could tell
They're
she's
like,
in a
hi,
bit
Sean.
of
And the mom's like, no
Get in
more
the car.
waving.
Get in the car. So I just walked over. I think I was cleaning my car or about to. So I had my brush in my hand. That's funny that you had that experience. I was that other guy. I might have been doing.
So you were the guy brushing off my car this morning, and I was the rushing lady.
Yeah. But I just felt good that I was just, for me, she was doing it. And then I brought mine over too and said, here. And I'm tall, right? And that's the other thing is I have a real advantage because there's nothing worse, especially I can see you with your big car. That's a pain to get the front clean.
Oh, do people get up there? That only becomes clean in April when it melts away.
But because I can reach it. I'm 6'2", right? So I have that. I said to her, I said, this is when.
My goodness!
No, it has a closed. That's why I brought it up there.
It's.
That's why I'm worried about you.
I'm not flaily like that. I'm not a fucking
am-
6'2" octopus. I keep my tiny 5'6" arms close to my body to
have
conserve energy.
I'm tall and I have long arms.
And you're expressive, which
I'm
people don't get
expressive.
to enjoy as much on a podcast.
No, and that's fine.
If you could see Sean right now,
I have taken out waiters,
he's flailing
waitresses.
around.
All right, that was good. So It's snowy. Thank God we have the extra hour.
Are we doing 2 hours?
No, we're just no pressure of time.
Cool.
But we do need to move on.
Okay, let's go.
A couple of things. What are you watching? What are you reading? What are you thinking? What's going on in Lindsay's world? And it can be just one answer.
Well, do you want me to dive into my thing?
You absolutely can.
Okay, so, oh my gosh. So I will answer quickly the watching thing. I started watching The Circle last night.
Okay. That's not appealing to me, but I don't know why.
It's awful. That's what I'm saying. Don't watch that.
Is there someone in it that I'd know? I just can't remember. It's that forgettable. I was like,
no,
I don't
it's about social media. It's like
Big
Brother household full of
yes.
social. And
fucked up.
It made
There's
me,
nothing I would want to watch less.
Me too. I was drinking wine, so
but I know
it
why
made
you'd
it a bit
be
more. I was just
intrigued
like,
by
I
it.
need 10 minutes to check out, and it made me embarrassed for my 25-year-old self, where I was like, was I like this? I don't know, probably not. Anywho, so there was that, and then typically what prompts me to start reading something is email. Like I subscribe to a lot of things, industry stuff, a bunch of different things around advertising, marketing, all of that kind of thing, and it's usually an email. So I get this email last night where the headline of it is the most interesting or impactful thing I've seen all year. So I'm like, oh, this better be good. And I subscribe to a lot of people who I would think are like interesting content creators, have an industry point of view.
Yeah.
So I'm like, sweet, this is going to be interesting. So I open it, and it's all around, obviously this person has been sponsored to create this email, and it's all around this direct mail service and how mail has now changed his life for his business as a digital marketing consultant. So I open it up, and immediately I'm pissed off because I'm like, this is bullshit. But the topic then got me kind of thinking.
Is it that person we talked about before?
I think it's a different person. I don't want to mention the person.
It's not the shoe guy, because he bugs me too. I had the same. The guy who... He's very successful, started in the wine business, family wine business.
No, it's
he's
not
a
that.
dork too.
No, it's
okay,
not that
sorry.
guy. So
Go
this
ahead.
is a person I think we've talked about their content before, just together. So I was like, oh, this guy's and he's a digital marketing consultant, clearly kind of does some stuff on his own, but trying to run a business and does these emails, and sometimes they're interesting. And so I was excited about this one. And then I open it, and the piece of content that's being provided by this company says, let me pull it up here. It says 63 for one thing, 63 unique ways to use direct mail in the digital age. So it's an
That's
ebook.
not a fart. That's not a joke?
No, it's not. So I'm like, so it says, need some ideas on how you might use mail? Download this free guide, 63 unique ways to use direct mail in a digital age. And I can't even tell you how many problems I have with that sentence. That's
what I was going to say. 63 unique ways.
So let's unpack. We've been talking about unpacking. Let's unpack that sentence
so is this
for
your
one
thing?
moment.
Is this your moment, your trigger?
Yeah, so mail. So the reason why mail specifically has been on my mind, again, as I was saying, is my husband's been away. And I literally do not think a mailbox exists. So we live downtown Toronto. We don't have mail to our houses. So you go to a box, right? I don't know if do you have that?
Yeah, same thing.
Right,
and
go to that.
I'll go a week with it. When Simone's away, I don't go, and she comes back. And
I don't ever go. We've lived there for maybe 8 years.
We have a dog, so it's an excuse for a walk.
And I've probably been 6 times. But when my husband travels... then it's like, you need to get the mail. And I was like, what's mail? And he's like, go to the box with the key on your ring that you have. And I was like, fine. So anyways, mail's been on my mind. And whenever I get the mail and there's all of this direct mail bullshit in there, I am the person who's like, no, like I stop at the recycling bin before I even go in the house and throw it out. Like I don't look at anything.
And I bet you that in and of itself causes guilt. Because you're like...
It's wasteful.
Yeah.
I don't look... Plus
it makes you be wasteful.
It does. And as a marketing person, I'm like, I want to be able to look at it and think about how it's impacted me. I can't even deal with this. Like, it's so out of control. which just shocks me. So that's the mail thing has been on my brain. And then I see this ebook, 63 Unique Ways to Use Direct Mail. And I was like, for one thing, could it be 10 ways? Can 63 ways really be unique? Why do we have to say all the time now in the digital age? Are we not over that at this point? Everything's digital. We don't have to say digital age anymore. But anyways, so I looked through this ebook. It's basically like, send a bottle of wine to a new client. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. But what prompted me was to think further about direct mail. And we've talked about this a little bit with one of our past clients recently, the value of physical visual presence versus digital and the impact that something tangible can have. So this is what kind of got me thinking. And I just did a little bit more research around some stats in that area that I'm like, okay, so I understand that I do actually think direct mail can be quite valuable. I understand the value of in-person tangible things when everything is so out of control, social media and digital. So just a couple of the things that I
So you're still
came across.
You're still giving it a try. So you're trying to be really objective about this, to say, instead of dismissing it altogether, to say, I want to understand.
Oh, yeah.
I want to clarify that before I get judgmental, that I have an informed opinion.
Yes, and it's to say that I got this email. I think the email's bullshit. It made me quite mad. This person, I feel like, is providing advice, and I'm like, that's not good advice in the way that you're providing it. It's clearly sponsored. This is making me upset. But I'm like, I do think that there is value in this as a tactic. So what is it about the tactic that I can then take away and say, this is still valuable, and how can I think about using it for my client?
And this is how it can be misused. I guess it's kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't throw the baby out with the bath. No, there's valuable things, but here's some opinion that'll say, but you're undoing this when you do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
exactly. So one of the things I thought was interesting was that advertising cards, catalogs, or flyers made 31% of baby boomers purchase a service or product.
Baby boomers.
Yeah. 31%. That's pretty high, I think.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But
So-
you're not a baby boomer. That's part of your thing. So anyways, yes, I'll shut up now.
No, definitely. But thinking about target audience and the best way to impact people, I think that's pretty high. And then even when they're saying consumers claim that they are 46% more likely to respond to an offer from a familiar company. And this is a great way to prime people, right? So you get something in the mail, you kind of see it, whether it's valuable to you or not in that moment, but then you start to connect it to an integrated plan. So you see an email then from that person, or you see a piece of video content online or something social or some sort of ad that then it starts to connect. So it's these kind of touch points that I thought was really interesting. And then I was like, oh, this is totally me. Having received addressed mail, 57% of consumers open it. I thought that was pretty high, 57%. 48.5% take a glance at it. And 26.2% throw it away or recycle it. And this is also shocking to me, 24% put it aside to check it later.
Yeah. Like, are flyers included in that, or is this just direct mail?
It's addressed direct mail. So picture like something
It
from
has
a
our
bank
address
that
on
says like Sean Patrick,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And you're like, this is clearly not actual mail for me, but an addressed direct mail piece.
Well, there was something, what was it? I don't know if we were working on it or I was doing it with someone else, and the idea of
You do work with other people?
no, myself.
Just checking.
You don't know Simone, right? Anyways, no, and it was something just about, I was working with a bank, and the idea of mail from a bank has a ridiculously high open rate.
Yeah, because are you afraid to not open it?
Well, you have to open it.
Do you?
No, no, sorry.
Because I don't.
Sorry. No, to me, but it's because I have a history where the bank needs my address. That's how we used to communicate with our bank. So there's
Yes.
sort of a legacy. There's just a behavior. There's just sort of like, you know what? The bank, based on our relationship, still counts on our address for some things. You probably don't have that. We've just never switched it over. Do you know what I mean? Like, online banking wasn't a thing. So it's just sort of like my relationship with my bank is tied to a time when they mailed me statements, and
Yes.
so there's that fear. So my fear is fear, and also it doesn't bother me, is if my bank has, and as soon as I open it, if I right away see, then I throw it out.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because that's just a time gap between us.
Right.
We went to the bank and now it's like online mortgages, everything's online. It's I know my connection. I first signed up with the bank I'm with, and we went into the office and we filled out all these forms, and we went to the bank when we needed to get money and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So it's like, that's why I'd almost say the older people, it's an inherent behavior. I'm not defending it. I'm just like, it's not even like, it's pretty high. Yeah, because it's ingrained with in us. So you're saying there's an opportunity there.
Completely.
Don't mess it up, though.
Yeah, so do you feel like it would impact you in that way? Like in that, say, a direct mail piece from, I don't know, a gym offer?
It's what got me into my gym.
Is it?
Yeah. You know what I'll say? Direct mail as it relates to locality. So I still know that local businesses, it's a great outlet for them. It's a cost-effective, very measurable offline way to promote themselves and see if it's a great way to promote.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So when it's local stuff, I don't get too ticked off. It's when it's big box stuff or
where they're clearly
just
like spray and pray kind of approach.
Yeah, and it's sort of like, you guys have enough money and a big enough footprint to be a little bit more innovative. So a lot of the pressure, for example, with grocery stores and retail, especially in the US, is, they know they need to move on from the flyer, and it's millions of dollars, but they can't even start.
Yeah, so that kind of brings up two things for me, whereas one, like for instance, a spray and pray kind of, I'm just going to blanket the country and I'm a major bank.
Because I can,
and they are afraid to move away from traditional tactics because they don't just necessarily, they're like, I don't know if I take this out, what it's going to do.
Yeah.
And then when you think about flyer, for instance, like one of my clients, removing the flyer actually does have a huge impact. So I think what it comes down for me, and I think you brought up a couple of really interesting points around it, is location, like target audience, demographic, location, local impact. As you're thinking about planning in these traditional tactics, that those are some of the things that you need to start first. Is this going to be right for this person? And then even thinking about someone of my generation, I think there is a big opportunity to impact me. I'm just not necessarily sure exactly what it is. Because getting something tangible that's could be in my hand. For instance, I purchase magazines still. I like having something. I purchase books, like actual physical books. Mm-hmm. I have a book e-reader, but I prefer to hold something. So like, what is it about that?
I have an idea. I have a thought, because it actually dovetails exactly into what I'm talking about.
Oh, does it? Okay. Yeah.
The way and we won't go to mine yet, but I just want to touch on it, is I think it's you committing yourself to taking time. You're not buying the magazine for the sake other than promising yourself the moment where you will sit down and read that magazine. Unconsciously. Yes. But it's for me.
Yeah, you're right, because it's more of a moment.
Yeah, you're booking a moment for yourself.
And at the end of that, when I buy the magazine and then it's 2 months later and I actually haven't read it, I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't give myself the gift of time to actually sit down and look at it.
And I think, but that's sort of like, what I like about it is what I called out is a good behavior that can go wrong. Then when you look back at what you originally were saying, was someone was offering you that chance, right? With that email, you look at them to just kind of give you something that's good for you. Something, thank you. I've offered my time. I've offered my energy. I've offered my attention. So don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me like you have never, like I've done nothing for you.
Right.
So what I mean by that is you've given them their information. You have given them the opportunity.
You've opened the door
to talk to you.
Yeah.
And that, once you've done that, and this is what you and I have experienced a lot in the world of strategy and communications and marketing, is it just a matter of time before they fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because one budget, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're about acquisition. We're about retention, blah, blah, blah. And it's, you and I just see it so transparently. What we can't deny is, for someone who doesn't even consciously think like you did in that situation, like, ugh, why do I do this? Why do I have to do this? Why did he screw it up? Is to say they took something that was good, that is inherently good in your behaviors, that does something good for you, and they exploited it.
Right.
So you feel exploited.
Yeah.
Right? So it was just neat because the way you brought it to, I love books. I love magazines. And you're not sure what it is to say. And so do I. And it's because it's a moment that I'm promising myself.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen.
It's interesting to think about it that way from a brand perspective, is that with direct mail, you are, the customer or the consumer is giving you their gift of time.
Yes.
Right? So how do you get them, for one thing, to even look at it, to say, I'm going to give you the gift of time, and then what is it that you're going to do for them with that time that will be valuable?
Yep. Cool.
That's it. That's what this has got me all stirred up. So I'm in charge of the mail because I'm on my own for the next week. I see this email from someone that I look forward to receiving email from, shockingly, and I'm disappointed. Then I see these stats. Then I'm thinking about direct mail for my clients and the best way to impact people with something tangible. And now I just got into a tizzy.
But the tizzy is just attention. It's that whole idea of it created attention that you, because you've been looking for that tension.
Yeah.
It's easy. We just aren't aware when that tension is there and kind of go, well, where's the spark? And it created this is like, yeah, this is what I like. But then you walk away from it with a positive sort of, okay, I'm not here to take down direct mail. I'm here to kind of say, there's something good there.
Yeah.
Well, how do we revive something?
And it's motivating for me to say, like, I believe in tangible physical experiences, direct mail being one of them. And I understand the impact, especially the measurability of these traditional type of tactics. And there's no way in hell I'm ever going to make a recommendation to one of my clients that is like, you shouldn't be using this in the best way possible. I do think it should be a part of our plan.
Yeah.
But what's the best way to thank your customers in that moment for giving you their attention?
Exactly. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's you take that for granted.
That's what I'm thinking about. Mail. Who knew?
Boom.
Right? In a digital age, Sean, I'm thinking about mail.
When does that start? Is that going to be like
When's
the ice
digital
age?
age going to be over?
I'm sort of like,
this age.
To me, digital age means we don't exist. Like we're just on screens. That's the way I look at it.
We're living in
more
the Matrix.
Physical.
Maybe we are.
Neo. Okay.
Cool.
That was awesome.
Thank you for listening to me.
That was awesome.
My rant about direct mail.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're stirred up. I think we have a new name. It's called Stirred Up.
Yeah, stirred up. I'm stirred up.
Let's get stirred up. And you remember, you like, I noticed someone say it. You were talking about how Seth Godin says, go create a ruckus.
Yeah.
Go start a ruckus or go create a ruckus?
Cause a ruckus.
Someone said, I was watching something.
It could also be like stirred up, our Friday morning coffee. Like this is our coffee chats.
And
stirred
our coffee,
up. We're
our
stirred
coffee
up
shop.
and we're stirred up.
Don't forget our coffee shop.
Consultants in coffee? Boom. All right.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it.
New episodes launch every 2 weeks, so be sure to subscribe to the Two Marketeers podcast wherever you like to listen.
Or go to the twomarketeers.ca and connect with us.
That's the twomarketeers.ca. Spell it out.
We are everywhere.
Two Marketeers podcast.
This podcast is over.